Hey guys, welcome. My name is Doug Holt, and I'm here with Tim Matthews. We are the co-owners of The Powerful Man, also founders of the nonprofit organization, The Worldwide Movement, designed specifically to help men all over the world. This is going to be our first training for the chapters.
Guys, it's great to have you here. If you sat here watching this, listening to this, then honestly, I applaud you because there are men within your community that are not choosing to do what you are choosing to do right now. You sat here amongst your peers, been led by an amazing chapter leader, and there's other men, nothing against them, that'll be sat at home, maybe cracking a beer, maybe doing whatever, choosing not to invest in themselves so that they can become a better father, husband, man, maybe business leader, whatever it is, right? In the 5 territories, which you'll get familiar with in a moment. So again, I commend you for being here. Well done. And let's go ahead and dive in.
So some of you have already heard the story, the tale of 2 wolves. And I'll reiterate, this parable comes from Native Americans, actually comes from the Cherokee tribe. An old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. And the boy says, a fight is going on inside me. He said to the boy, it's a terrible fight, and it's between 2 wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued, the other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute, and then he asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. So guys, within The Powerful Man, something that we talk about here are the 5 agonies, but also the 5 territories. And in this training, we're going to talk about those as well. In the 5 territories, we do have self, right? Self is how you're filling your cup, your own personal feelings, like what's going on inside of you, right? Then we have the second territory is going to be health, right? Your physical health, not only just your appearance, how you're feeling, but also what is your health going on inside? How well are you taking care of this vessel, this body of yours? Then we have wealth, right? Wealth can not only be a financial wealth, the third territory, but also more of an abundance, right? Are you in a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset? And then, of course, we have relationships, not only relationships with your intimate partner, but also relationships with friends, with family, with coworkers. And of course, the 5th territory, business. At The Powerful Man, we actually serve business owners specifically. That's who we work with. So business is an important goal. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and pause this for a second and let me know, where are you? Which wolf are you feeding in each of the 5 territories? Again, that's going to be self, health, wealth, relationships, and business. Go ahead and hit pause and answer this for yourselves. And if you're in the group, go ahead and answer it within the group. Which wolf are you feeding in the 5 territories?
So guys, welcome back to the training. I want you to keep in mind the grade that you've just given yourself in each of the 5 territories. I say grade, which wolf you are feeding in each of the 5 territories. And as you went through that, I'm guessing that maybe some emotions came up for you as you got real with yourself about the wolf that you were feeding in self, health, wealth, relationships, and business. And who knows, maybe for some of you, you have reached this part of the training where you've hit play again, and maybe you lied to yourself. Maybe you wanted to make yourself look a little bit better than you actually are, right? And look, my intention here isn't to beat on you or call you out. Doug and I have been there. We get it. We've been in a position where we are feeling vulnerable and maybe not on our best in the 5 territories, and we may not want other people to see, especially the men around us, right? So what do? We try and put on a show. We wear a mask. We pretend as though everything is okay, when in reality, inside, it feels like everything is kind of falling apart. Now, these are all symptoms of something we call no man's land. Okay. So, what we have seen, and we've worked with thousands of men by this time, by this point, from many different countries, several different continents, aging between 30 and 55, all the way up into the late 50s, from various industries: banking, crypto, real estate, law, even cheese, as crazy as it sounds. The point I'm making here with this is there is a pattern that emerges across these men, right? And no matter who you are, where you're from, what age, the pattern is no man's land. And no man's land is a place where men can often find themselves, where they feel, as this picture depicts, lost, alone, worn out, tired, dreary. And this can often show up in their life with them putting on weight. They're not working out anymore. They're not looking after their body. They're having sleepless nights. They're waking up, relying on caffeine to get the day going. Racing to the office, having road rage on the way there. Get into the office and being short-tempered with their employees or even their teammates. Just to leave the office and either find that they've been making excuses all day to work late so they don't have to go home, or they might be terrified of telling the wife that they're going to be late home yet again because they have a history of broken promises. Now, if this is resonating for you, I want you to know that you are not alone. Look at the men sitting around you. Look at your chapter leader. He has been in that position. Doug and I have been in that position. Again, this isn't to judge you or make fun of you. It's just to highlight a pattern that most men struggle with. Now, in no man's land, there are 5 agonies. And the first agony is the agony of greed. Now, you might read this and think, no, I don't resonate with that. I'm not a greedy guy. Well, look, this isn't about you being greedy. It's actually a feeling of emptiness. No matter how much you achieve, it never feels like enough. The goalposts always move. And within the first agony, often for men, they get frustrated because they look like they've got it all. They've got it all together. They've got the house, the car, the wife, the family, the job, maybe even the body, the career, whatever it is. They've ticked all of the boxes, and they've gone about ticking these boxes thinking that they were going to be the answer. The next thing was going to be the one that would make them feel better about life and themselves and the situation they're in. But the more they achieve, the worse they feel because they realize it's not going away. And the more they achieve, the more they question, hang on a minute, when will enough actually be enough? And it's in this point where everyone's looking at them like they've got the ideal life, but they know differently. They feel differently. And what often happens is because, like most men, we're problem solvers, right? We like to know what the problem is and figure it out, be it with your wife. Hey, just tell me what's wrong and I'll fix it. It's not always what she wants to hear. You might learn that in another meeting, but just tell me the problem and I'll fix it. Maybe it's with your kids, maybe it's in your career, whatever it is. And because you can't figure out why you feel this never-ending sense of emptiness, I mean, happiness hits in fleeting moments, but it never comes long enough to really last and sit with it. It always feels like it happens to you instead of you creating it. And this then leads to the second agony of anger. The men then become angry, agitated. And what often happens here is they walk in through the door and it's a short-tempered word at the kids or the wife. Or they walk into the office the following day and it's a short-tempered word to a teammate, to the boss, to their employees, which leads to the third agony of shame. Because they don't want to act that way, and they've done it many times before. They've spoken to their kids in that way, in that tone. They've looked at them with that look of frustration, and they can see how the kids shrink instead of bloom. and they feel ashamed. And they promise themselves and they promise the people they love they won't do it, that they will change. But inevitably, because they've got the first agony, because they are struggling, wandering through no man's land, lost, without direction, they're going to experience anger. And by default, they're going to experience shame. And they end up feeling as though, do you know what? People will be better off without me. And this is when they start to withdraw from the family. Maybe they're coming home late once the kids have gone to bed so they can avoid sharing their frustrations onto the kids. So the kids don't see them drink each night. Maybe they come home late hoping that the wife is going to be in bed, or just really limiting the time they're going to have with the wife because they can't deal with the arguments. So what this does is this isolates the men. They pull away from friends, from family, from colleagues, which then leads to the fifth agony of uncertainty, because they know that this can't last forever. They know that they can't continue down this path. And it leaves them wondering, okay, which domino is going to fall first? Is it going to be my marriage? Am I going to come home tonight and my wife's going to have left? Is it going to be business or my career? Is my A player, I'm going to push them away? They're going to leave because of my volatility, my lack of follow through, because I'm playing not to lose versus playing to win. It creates a whole heap of uncertainty. So, Doug and I would like you to hit pause again. And this time, we want you to write down, how are the 5 agonies showing up in your life? Again, look at the 5 territories: self, health, wealth, relationships, and business. If you to imagine this as a powerful man, your energy rises up through the 5 territories. A lot of men get it the wrong way around. They focus on the career or business at the bottom, and then wealth is above that. And, they kind of make progress, but they don't really rise. No power rises up through there. They don't really have anything left for the other territories. And the key is you've got to flip it on its head. So look at the territory of self. How the 5 agonies showing up there: health, wealth, relationships, and business. Once you've done this, we'd like you to share with the men around you. Be honest. This is your opportunity to really get things off your chest. This is a safe space. There is no judgment. We're all here together. We have all been there. We've all experienced the 5 agonies. They still show up from time to time. No one's perfect. Anyone that tells you that they are, they're probably in no man's land. So hit pause, guys, and look at how the 5 agonies are showing up in your life.
Hey guys, welcome back. If you haven't hit pause yet and you didn't take time to actually fully explore the 5 agonies and where you are in there, I'm going to encourage you to do that now. I know it's so easy just to not say anything or not raise your hand and just move forward. I get it. Don't allow this to be one of those times. Seriously, take a moment and really let your voice be heard and have some introspection. That's how you are going to grow on this path going through there. So what we want to talk about now is no man's land sucks. We all get it. I've been there. Tim's been there. Everybody here has been in no man's land. And a lot of us are in no man's land right now. So how do you leave? Right? Well, there's a whole system to go through this, but today we're going to give you 2 ways to get out of no man's land. One is what we call the alpha rise and shine. The other one is the alpha decompression. So Tim is going to go over that, the alpha rise and shine with you guys, and I'll go over the decompression. And then later on, your actual CL or your chapter leader will actually break down some of the methodologies that he uses, that he's been taught through the Powerful Man, and how he's modified those to fit into his lifestyle.
Yeah, so the Alpha Rise and Shine, guys. Alpha is an acronym, and you'll get more familiar with Alpha and what that means and how we use this within the Powerful Man, because it's an identity, it's a way of operating. for the men within the movement. But for this particular instance, so the A is attune, the L is learn, the P is plan, the H is honor your body, and the A is accelerate. So I'll give you an example of how I use this, and Doug can share with you how he uses this. So for me, the Alpha Rise and Shine is something you do first thing in the morning, okay? It's up to you how long it takes. Some guys like to do it for a couple of hours. It may include a workout within that couple of hours. Other guys like to do it for a little bit less, right? The key isn't the amount of time that you spend with it. It's the quality of the experience that you gift yourself. It's a way of setting yourself up for success every day. So in terms of the A with attune, so when you wake up, you want to make sure you're attuning your energy, right? If you imagine a tune fork, right? When you hit it, it'll vibrate. It'll pick up a certain tune. You're a lot like that. And the mistake a lot of guys make, and I've made this too, is they don't realize how powerful they are in the sense that they disregard their energy and they manage their time instead of managing their energy. So when you wake up and you go to attune, you could do this through breath work, through meditation, through journaling, through a quiet walk in nature. There's various ways you can look to attune. I mean, if you really want to go for bonus points, you could even choose to meditate for 10 minutes, journal for 10 minutes, and go for a walk for 10 minutes, right? The L is then learn. I like to do my learning on the way to the gym. So when I wake up, the attunement for me will be the meditation, the journaling, sometimes maybe some breath work, and then I'll grab a coffee, I'll be driving to the gym, and then I'll stick on the audiobook. And for me, that's my learning time. I like to do something for me and learn something that's going to fill me up, just like you guys are learning right now. And then the H is honor your body. Obviously, like I just said, I'm driving to the gym, I'm getting my learning in, and I'm working out, and I'm getting to honor my body. That's the H. The P is then plan, and that is all around planning your day. So ideally, you've planned your day the night before. So the P might just be checking in with what your day looks like, okay? Just checking in that you've got your most important priorities first, and you can get those done. And then the A is accelerate. So for me, what I like to do to accelerate into the day after I've worked out, I've taken a quick look at my Google Calendar, is I'll have a cold shower. Have a cold shower, get ready, and by the time I've done that, I am ready to take on my day. I feel focused, I feel energized. More importantly, I feel calm and grounded and centered. And it really creates a great foundation platform for me to be able to do things like this right now with amazing guys like Doug and for the amazing men that you guys are as well.
Yeah, guys, a really important thing to hear of the Alpha Rise and Shine is you're setting yourself up for success, right? You're steering the direction of not only your day, but probably your week, your month, quarter. So the morning becomes the day, which becomes the week, which becomes the month, becomes the quarter, which becomes your year. But it all starts the first thing. And there's actually science behind this. So when you first wake up, you're highest in your theta brainwaves. And I don't need to get into all of the science or research behind it, but it's the best time to attune. As Tim said, sit silently, go for a walk, or just do some basic silent time. Now, I've got 2 little kids, right? And so, some nights I just don't get a lot of sleep because kids are up and what's going on. So as Tim noticed, I'll have several versions of the Alpha Rise and Shine. Some of it will only take 15 minutes, but it's that 15 minutes that allows me to set the course and the direction of my day in a positive way, the way that I want to be, so I can show up as a better husband, a better father, and a better man for myself and the businesses that I run. So again, you want to find the groove for you. Your CL or your chapter leader here, he is going to be able to guide you and tell you what he does. We work with literally thousands of men through this process to design one that's customizable, but you want to stick to the basics. And like Tim said, some form of sitting in silence, right? Sitting or moving in silence, a walking meditation for guys like me that don't like to sit very much. But then some journaling. And the journaling can be as simple as what you're grateful for, right? What are the 3 things that will significantly move the needle for you today, and planning ahead. Then doing some kind of movement, right? Especially as we get a little older and we work, right? I'm in my 40s. The body doesn't work as the way it used to. So moving the body and getting it in there really helps the energy get flowing. And I know if I do my Alpha Rise and Shine, I have more control over my day, right? Instead of reacting to the fires, to the emergencies that come throughout the day, I'm not in a reactive mode. I'm in a proactive mode. And now I, as a powerful man, am in charge of the day. and I'm leading it. So it's a really, really fine-tuned exercise. And again, you don't want to, try to beat yourself up if you miss it or anything along those lines, but it does set the tone for your day and gets you out of a reaction mode. And all it takes, guys, is getting up maybe 15 minutes earlier. For most of you, that's not going to be a big deal, just to set the tone. Try it for a couple of weeks until your next meeting, and you can see how that works for you.
So guys, now what we'd like you to do is get together with your CL and come up with your Alpha Rise and Shine. I want you to leave this meeting, hopefully learning a little bit more about where you are today, because, it's just like going on a journey. Whenever you go on a journey, you get into your car, you program the destination in where you want to go, and then what does it do? It calculates where you are today. In order for you to move forward and really build the life that you are capable of and you deserve, you get to know where you are. So hopefully you can leave today knowing a little bit more about where you are in each of the 5 territories, which wolf you are feeding, and also with one actionable step here that you can start to put into place tomorrow. Let's do this tomorrow morning. When is now a good time to change? There's a lot of people will say.
It's well said. And guys, obviously, this is not one of our formal trainings that we do. Our formal trainings are very systematized when you go through something like the activation method or one of our other programs. But also, guys, what I want to touch on briefly here is another aspect that's not talked about as much for men, and that's decompression. So Tim talked about the 5 territories and the 5 agonies. And one of those agonies is anger, right? And we get frustrated as guys. I know I do. You're coming off of the job, you're coming out of work, and you're in do mode. And so what's worked really well for me is decompressing. And a lot of our men, your CL can talk about his version of decompressing. But as I leave my door, I have a sign that sits right there on my door that says change in priorities. So if you've ever taken martial arts, what do you do in a traditional martial arts dojo is you bow when you come in, and you bow when you leave. And when you bow when you leave, what that's signifying is you're leaving, you're showing respect, but you're also leaving the fighting arts there, right? You're leaving that energy. You're changing your energy in your environment. I had a master that talked to me about this, and I thought it was really interesting. So we actually applied it to business leaders. And it's the same thing. So when I walk out of my business environment, I have my version of bowing or decompressing. So for me, it's a metal sign that says change of priorities ahead. I have a picture of my kids, my wife, and I hit that sign, kind of like you've seen in American football. People hit a sign, a lot of football players, as they walk into the game. You're signifying to yourself when you're decompressing some way that, hey, the work energy is over. Now I'm going to go be a friend, a father, a parent, or whatever else that may be. It's also a great time to do a little journaling and plan ahead. Right. So what I'll do is I'll plan ahead for the next day. So my Alpha Rise and Shine is that much more efficient. I'm ready. I know exactly what my priorities are. So again, I'm not reacting to what's going on. Right. I'm not reacting to what my wife says or what happens with my kids or, somebody else at work. I know for Doug what I need to do to move the needle to get me where I want to go. Because remember, right, the day becomes the week becomes the month becomes the quarter becomes the year, that year becomes your life. So you want to direct it in the way that you want to. And decompression is key. It's definitely had a major impact on not only my business career, but also my relationship with my wife, my kids, and my friends.
Yeah, well said. Decompression is, it goes back to the attune, right? It's the same thing within the decompression. It's the alpha decompression. It's the same thing. S is attune. L is stack the lessons from the day. H is honor your wins. P is plan. Again, important. So you can go into that, fun time with your family, having got all the stuff in your head dumped out, right? So plan the following day, and that really helps you to be a little bit more present. And then A is accelerate. Again, like Doug, for example, he has the picture when he walks out of the office, taps it. That's him accelerating into the evening with his family, or the afternoon, or whenever it is. You can use a decompression at different times of the day. But it's such a key point. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah. So guys, we're going to be ending this training here for you. Your CL is going to have some more information for you. As Tim said, what we want you to do is walk away with an Alpha Rise and Shine and a decompression, right, that you can use starting immediately. So share with each other what you're using. If you have a quote morning routine that you're using that's working well, share it. right? Share what's going on for you. We have the advantage of working with thousands of men, so we're always fine-tuning these techniques to what works the best, right? We learn about it, we try it out on ourselves, and then we work with special men like you to get that going through. Also, if you want a deeper dive on some of these topics, if you go over to thepowerfulman.com/podcast, or just go to thepowerfulman.com, you can see podcast in the menu. We have almost 500 episodes where there's trainings that specifically go over some of these routines. You can just search for the Alpha Rise and Shine or Decompression or the 5 Agonies or even the 5 territories and do a deeper dive on this. And I'm sure your CL, your chapter leader can give you more information on that, where you can find those resources as well. Gentlemen, I honor you guys for being here. It's a very, very special journey. I'm very excited. Your chapter leader, just so you know, has put a lot of time and energy on his own to make this facilitation happen. As you guys know, when you throw a party, so to speak, the behind the scenes can be a little hectic, and your chapter leader has set this up for you guys and you specifically. So hats off to him. And gentlemen, we'll see you again in a later chapter meeting. Take care.